Can you guys hear us?
But we really want to share how personal development has changed our lives.
We get to go through this together.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Hoy and Tomorrow. I'm your host, Veronica Estrada. Thank you so much for joining us in season 4 of our show. We are thrilled that we have gotten to this point and so excited to keep bringing you content to help you heal into your epic greatness. Today, we have a special episode. I am actually going to be interviewing a good friend of mine, Marcela Badillo. She is the host of A and Her, a show that's on Instagram TV, and I'm gonna let her jump in and give us a little bit of her background. And from there, I'll be interviewing her about her personal development journey because she has a very different path than I do and Maribel. And we want to make sure that we're bringing you guys content that matters and can help you up level your lives. So with that, welcome so much, Marcela. Thank you for joining us. And I'm so excited to hear, a little bit about your background, and then we'll go from there.
Yes, so my name is Marcela Padillo. I am the host of A and Her. And so the whole idea behind A and Her was basically to be able to have a platform for all women to tell their stories. And I have a story that's all like a roller coaster ride. So I want to start with my weight loss journey. I have a weight loss journey that led me to want to pursue personal development. And in that journey, I found out a lot about myself. I found out that there was a lot of healing that I need to do from the inside out. And I have used my resources, everyone around me that has been able to shed light. And so that's what I want to do with other people's story. I feel like we learn things. And so pretty much that's the route that I'm on right now. And this show is giving me the opportunity to meet women and get inspired and hopefully inspire other people as well.
Exactly, totally. And another key piece for Marcela, I would say, is that she is married. She is a mom of 2, actually a new mom
Yes.
as well. And you have also a full-time job, and you're doing the show because you're passionate about it. But you've definitely got a lot on your plate.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do. It's a lot going on, but I think that's why it's most important to take time for yourself and really figure out what makes you happy. That's the most important thing is find out what makes you happy and deliberately do those things over and over because that's the number one thing in life is to be
Girl.
happy.
Preach. Yes, exactly. You're totally right. So I want to kick it off with asking, what is personal development to you?
So I think personal development for me is anything that you're doing to better yourself every day. Anything that you're doing repeatedly to make you a better person is personal development. For me, I schedule my workouts every week and I'm committed to them. And every time that I show up, I feel good about myself. I know that I showed up for myself that day and it makes me feel good. So I think anything that you do repeatedly to make yourself better is personal development.
Awesome. Totally. You're totally right. The fact that you do it repeatedly, that's the beauty. That's where we actually start to change. And I love that you put your workouts on the calendar and you stick to them. And that's another great way of building trust with yourself because you can count on yourself to show up. And that's what takes showing up for ourselves, right?
Right.
Awesome. Okay, so do you remember the impetus for you to truly start focusing on personal development? Like, what was it that got you to really say, oh my God, I should spend more time healing and going inward?
So I'm going to go back to that goal that I set for myself to get fit for 30. Originally, that goal, I thought was going to fix everything for me. I thought, okay, once I reach this goal, once I look a certain way, everything is going to be better. And what I found out was that it wasn't all better once I lost the weight. I was looking at myself, and yes, I liked what I've seen. A lot of things did get better, but there was still a lot of work to be done. Inside, there was still emptiness. Inside, I knew that there was more to my story. And so I just started unpacking my bags, one thing out, taking the next thing out, and just really examining what it was that led me to that unhealthy place with my body.
Mm.
And also confronting, sources of my trauma. And that was a really brave step, but it was a step that was like so necessary, because once I started doing that, I started really seeing what I needed to work on and what I was. Sometimes we take things personally, like, and that's not the intention. So when you talk to people and you kind of get their perspective of scenarios or things that happen, you get a little bit of better understanding of where this has led you. And another thing for me was I was pregnant during the time that I was in this personal development journey. And I started envisioning what I wanted for my daughter. What did I want her life to look like? And I knew that there was a lot of cultural biases that I wanted to break. I wanted her to be mentally aware and confident, and I wanted her to inherit those things from me. So I had to work harder on myself in order to be able to put that onto my daughter, help her see what she needed or what tools I can give her. So that's kind of where my personal development journey has gone.
Yeah, I love it. I love it because it's about it starts with our bodies, and getting to know our bodies, and in the pursuit of external beauty, we figure out that, oh my gosh, inner beauty is just as important, if not more, and
Right.
the outer beauty, whether it's physical or it's a career success, like I had all these external things outside of me that
Right.
I thought I was going to be super happy that I had. And it wasn't until I focused on going inward that I really discovered who I was, and I was able to cultivate inner beauty versus just external stuff. And the other thing I love about
Right.
your story is that you wanted to be, of service for the next generation. You wanted to support your daughter and really embody the qualities that you wanted her to have. And
That's right.
and that's not an easy thing to do, is, the things that you mentioned, being Latinas and how we were raised, there's certainly a lot there to unpack. And so that's,
Oh, sure.
that's what personal development is, it's like unpacking the baggage. And
Yeah.
as much as we put on a brave face and we're strong and we're warriors, we all have some sort of baggage, and it takes courage to go in there and see what's in there. But once you do, isn't it so freeing?
It's so freeing. And you have like a weight lifted off your shoulders, and you just feel so happy that like your eyes have been opened to this bigger picture, because I think we're so closed off. Like we don't see the bigger picture. Like for from my upbringing, I was raised by a very strong woman. And so to me, I thought that I had to face every struggle with a brave face, and I didn't need to ask for help. And
Oh,
in
girl,
reality, yeah, and
asking
in
for help.
reality, you need people, and that's what we were created for, to collaborate with each other. And that's, I think that's both of our mission, is just to reach out to everybody and let them know the bigger picture, and that there is help out there, and that we don't have to put on a brave face. Like we can ask for help. It doesn't make us weak, and it doesn't make us any less than. It's actually very brave.
Exactly. I'm getting chills literally with hearing you say that. Like, literally, we go through challenges so that we can overcome them and learn from them and then share that medicine with others. And that's what you're saying. Like, we're made to connect, we're biologically wired to connect with other humans. And when we are quiet, we don't ask for help, like there's a part of us that's like dying inside. And that's why I love our shows, because it's all about asking for help, putting it out there, and exposing people to alternative ways of being and ways of treating themselves. Because sometimes we didn't see this type of stuff at home, or in our neighborhood, or I went to public school, like, this is all in the
Yeah.
realm. And I would love for the next generation to learn about this way sooner than I did, so that they're a step ahead, and they can succeed much faster by way of, loving themselves and knowing that they are enough. So the next question I have for you is, what's been the hardest part about personal development for you?
I think the hardest part of personal development is that it's on your own. You have to do the work on your own. So it can be lonely at times. And I think that because everyone's at a different place with their personal development, if if you start changing yourself, a lot of people don't understand it, so they are not connecting with you. So you're really by yourself when you're, because even just if I can go back to my story of the weight loss journey, I remember people were like, why are you doing that? Like, why is that important to you? And it's like just constantly questioning you, which is okay, but sometimes you get tired of having to explain and just wish people would understand. So I think that the personal development journey can be lonely, and you have to just continue to show up for yourself no matter what. Because there will be people that are not supportive. And once you start making changes, they're not about it. And we have to be okay with also letting some relationships go, because some relationships are not going to come along with us and in our journey when we're growing. And so that to me was the hardest part, because I'm so social, and I feel like I'm very accepting of everyone, and noticing that there was a pushback from some people when they see that you're making these changes in your life was kind of tough.
I totally hear that. Yeah. I thank you so much for sharing that. You're right. It can get lonely, and then you realize that some relationships do have an expiration date, and that it's
That's
time
right.
to separate. But looking at it all with gratitude, and like we learn from it, and showing up for ourselves again and again, that's the key, right?
Right.
Okay, so my next question is, how has personal development helped you show up for yourself, your husband, your kids, your community?
So I think the biggest impact has definitely been for my kids. I think that they see that I take time for myself, and they see that I'm unapologetic about it. Like when I'm getting ready to work out, I'm happy, I'm excited. I come back and I'm even more filled than when I left. So I think they notice those things. They notice that I take a lot of pride in the time that I take for myself. I get ready, I'm excited, I come back and I have this new energy. And so I see that they understand the importance of taking time for yourself. And for my son, one time he told me, I just don't like to be rushed. And he expressed that to me. And I was able to give him some tools. And I'm like, okay, if you don't like to be rushed, that means when your alarm goes off, you have to start getting up, slowly but surely getting up. And then as soon as you're up and ready, you can decide whether you want to lounge a little bit or you want to start putting on your clothes so you can watch a show. So I think he's coming to me now and asking the questions like, what can I do so that I don't feel rushed? Because he knows that I've done things for myself. He recognizes that I do things for myself to make me feel better. So he's coming to me for like some tools. And so now he lays out his clothes on his bed for the next day so that he can be ready. And I'm just like so blown away by that, because I think that even kids at a young age want that structure and want to grow themselves. And so now I'm so proud of him because of the steps that he's made in his personal development.
Oh my God, that is so beautiful. I don't know why that like made me get emotional, but just like hearing you say and seeing your joy, I felt that really, really deeply, you know, and I think that's so beautiful. I know we have other moms who watch the show and other parents who watch the show, and that'll resonate with them. And I'm so proud of you for doing that and, you know, really leading by example. That's the best thing that we could do, right?
Yes, and I feel like all parents, we have a hard time taking time for ourselves. I'm no exception. I have a hard time. Sometimes I feel guilty for taking time for myself. But at the end of the day, the fruit of your work is going to nourish your children, and you're going to see that they're going to benefit from it. So take time for yourself and really understand that our kids are sponges. So what we do for ourselves and the positive changes that we do for ourselves are going to impact them greatly.
That is amazing. I was going to ask you what your advice was for parents out there, but that was it. Um, that's perfectly succinct, and I absolutely love that you honor yourself and really you honor them and your marriage by taking care of yourself. You know, we can't give to others what we don't give to ourselves. And so you're doing it. You're like crushing it. I love that your son sets out his clothes and he's like, here's what I got to do to not be rushed, you know, and
Yeah.
that creating that structure from a young age is some of the key things that helps people become high performers, high achievers, and become really successful later in their lives, you know, because they do have these measures and these constraints around like, here's what I want to be happy, and here's what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. And that's that. It happens now. It's always happening. You know, as parents, you guys have the opportunity to really lead by example, and I'm so honored that you're doing that for the next generation.
Yeah, and so for me, I mean, it was also being exposed in environments where I saw other parents and the way that they were navigating their children and different things, because I do work on the west side and I work at a school, and I see that people or parents are showing their kids how to give themselves positive affirmations and how to take their time to do things and how they have them involved in a lot of activities, and that exposure, it just is so important. And I think that we as parents need to do our part to build and grow this community.
Oh, that is amazing, Marcela. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your insights and your story with us. We are so excited to be a part of this community with Aya and her and having you on Oyen tomorrow. We're doing it, girlfriend. So thank
Yes.
you so much for spending time with us, and we will see you guys next time.
Yeah.